Ahoy, maggots! Welcome to the stream on Essentials.tf. It is more coverage of ETF2L in this lovely season 50. It's 6v6 and it's the lower bracket final of our playoff stage of the season 50 ETF2L League. I'm Turbotabs. I'm joined with Ben PL. Welcome aboard, Ben.
Thank you very much, TurboTabs. It's been a wild ride for these teams. A bit of a wild scheduling ride as well, because we found out about this game. What was it this morning? I guess the teams are very keen to sort of see how playoffs are going with LAN, of course, next week, and Bloodsail Buccaneers fresh off their win against Forfens just on Tuesday night. So both teams feeling keen and feeling raring to go, I think.
I know, shiver my timbers. I can't believe that Bloodsail Buccaneers actually came through and got the upset against Forfens. So this is hype. This is really exciting. Very few people saw this coming. I could see a little bit coming. It might be because I was kind of hanging on the coattails of what Josh was saying a little bit early in the season, saying like this team was clearly rising and upping and rising. Whilst meanwhile, their opponents tonight, Ben, Dirty Maggots, were kind of falling. Poor KN has been taken out of the playoff section of this ETF12 online league because of reasons. And so he's banned. He cannot play, but fortunately they have got someone reliable. I'm pretty sure it's Gigi that is going to be playing Soldier for them tonight. He's not a complete unknown. He has won lands, I should let you know, Ben. And he's obviously knows the teammates of Dirty Maggots fairly well. He's actually played some other moments as well when they had other little mishaps and stuff in scheduling. So it's not fantastic, but it's not bad.
Yeah, of all the subs that you can have on a roster, I think Gigi is probably the best in the fact that he plays genuinely every class. And to like a very strong prem level as well. It's not just like, oh, you can throw him or whatever, it'll be fine. No, he's like genuinely strong at all 6 roles that you can play. And I know obviously stepping in for Kane, it's hard shoes to fill, but I think we've seen early this season, like he's had some good moments, and yeah, in this lower bracket final, I think he's someone who might be looking to make a name for himself as even more cementing himself as the ultimate super sub.
Now, keep in mind, this is the lower bracket final, so there's still a grand final to decide whoever wins this plays off against Witness. And I guess I've watched some streams. I've taken in what the crowd were thinking, and some kind of see this tonight as the kind of pseudo actual grand final because this game is expected to be close. While the whoever goes up against Witness, maybe not. But we could all be hopeful, and maybe these teams might learn some lessons tonight going into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, on that note, we can start thinking about the maps that we've got coming up tonight. We're going to be starting over on Koth Products. And I don't think we have news on who picked and banned what, but I'm assuming Product is a Bloodsail Buccaneers pick based on their results they had the other day, because they looked mighty strong on that over on Tuesday against Forfens.
My God, the Dirty Maggots not watched the game last night? They just must have not realised that Bloodsail Buccaneers were looking pretty good on this map. Yeah, sure, there was a couple of lost rounds here and there, but after you win a map, that was the pick of Forfens, need I remind you. So when they picked that map and then they went into this loss quite, sadly, then you got to feel confident. And I feel like this is a map that kind of feeds into confidence very well, especially if you're rocking the style of what Bloodsail Buccaneers like to run, which is that sniper and, switching off their soldiers onto a scout class. Again, all about confidence. So that's a very nice pick, I think, for the Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it was their pick, however.
I'm assuming it was their pick. It would only make sense. But their strategy for anyone that missed the game on Tuesday, I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing a perma sniper on Unu. And I'm assuming we're going to see Sylves, who's usually the soldier, going to be switching over onto the scout class. Just again, it's such a strong scout map. Sort of when you've got a scout, and yeah, Sylves did well on scout as well the other day. So when you've got someone who's capable of playing soldier or scout, you probably want them to be playing scout on this map, given the choice. And it was basically a game spent around the scouts playing tight around that sniper, denying those soldier bombs, and even the coordination and talent of Demul and Bruisman couldn't really touch Unu a lot of the game, because they were just getting munched up by these 2 scouts. So we're going to see if Dirty Maggots have an answer to that, because I know they obviously watched the game on Tuesday, and well, I'm assuming they did. They must come into this, allow it to come through, and they must have some kind of counter to this sniper play, because it really, really caused Forfens big problems on Tuesday night.
Well, fortunately for Dirty Maggots, if they haven't quite felt out their king of the hill, they still have good, reliable control point to lay back onto, because the map 2 will be Granary, and then the third map will be Sunshine Decider if it comes down to it. But, we're not going to spend and waste too much time here, Ben. I just want a prediction out of you before we kind of get started between all these players here. You're keeping me in suspense, Ben. What's your prediction?
I have a mute button on it. Excuse me there. I think Dirty Maggots take this. I think they might have come into this. They've allowed it through for a reason. I think they might have some kind of preparation, some kind of homebrew to bring into this one. And I'm going to say 3-1 in their favour. What about you, Turbo?
I'm a big proprietor of anime arcs and storylines, and, well, could you really ask for more of a anime moment between Mac versus Geordie? All of these former teammates of one another, all quite incestuous between these two teams that have probably played with one another at one point of time. Eon and well, actually, Juno's playing on this team, but you know what I mean. Like, you've got a bunch of people that are just all played from all different sorts of cuts and cloths, and now they have to face against each other. Now it feels like it's all culminating to this sort of peak storyline. I'm going all in on Mac, baby.
Well, I'll have to see, because here we go. It's round number 1 of the lower bracket final. A place up against Witness Gaming, up for grabs after this series, but there's potentially 3 maps to get through. Before we get to there, we've got Bloodsail Buccaneers in the red, and we have Dirty Maggots in the blue as they both roll out for this first mid-fight.
And speaking of rollout, Juno already rocking the sniper immediately. No counter sniper for Dirty Maggots, though. They're going to keep it honourable here in this game of Team Fortress 2. And we're playing things steady over on Dirty Buccaneers, the Bloody Buccaneers, as they will kind of bait in one soldier to kind of force themselves onto Eon. They're not even addressing Juno right now. They're just hoping that this man keeps missing, and he's just kind of laying out regular pressure. And the first one to kind of jump in will be Mac, and Bloke comes in on the collapse of Mac jumping. What a distraction to allow him to get that pick onto Pickles.
Fantastic work there over on the recollapse, but honestly, this was exactly what we saw on Tuesday night. These soldiers bombing in, but from the blue side, it was 4 feds on Tuesday, but now it's Dirty Maggots, and they cannot touch Yunu because they've got Sylves and Sail just chewing up any bombing soldiers. Geordie and Gigi were down instantly in that first mid-fight, and now they're going to have to push back in at full disadvantage. Going to try and sack some soldiers in. We've got Geordie going in behind, potentially bombing up and over onto Eon, but Eon looking relatively secure for now.
Well, it seems the best strategy to deal with Geordie is just kind of ignore him on Juno. Just pretend he isn't there and just trust that your teammates have got him controlled and isolated, and they did. So now they just kind of claim that easy free time. They're not even going to humour the idea of doing a forward hold here over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers because they've got the sniper. So why not just kind of play them in? They will set up a sticky trap, however, on Mac. But I don't see them kind of pushing out. Oh, wait, maybe they might do. They might come out of a drop off. Fortunately, Voxy will clean up that trap. He actually eats 2 pipes. The Mac Renaissance keeps paying off here, Ben.
Mac absolutely beats there, taking down Voxy, and look at that. Look how much they've had to retreat because of that. And now they drop it. It gets worse, moment by moment. For the Dirty Maggots, it's completely collapsing the teams. Can they get in and get a force onto Eon? It doesn't look likely so far. Af's going to be in deep. Geordie's so weak. And Eon all the way back out. Yes, they get the frag onto Yunu. Af going to jump in, but Eon's still 150 HP. One last bomb from Zams. Might get a lick of damage, but doesn't manage to get enough as Eon holds tall. And Piggles was not able to do so, as that was a really, really brutal push.
6, 10, 3, 6, 10. That's the average sort of kind of damage you're getting as a soldier is constantly being plinked and sand thrown in your eyes by these scouts. How the hell are you supposed to step up against Eon and against Juno when they just have these such defensive play scouts? They actually, speaking of the opposite of defense, they will go on the offense, use the Uber proactively and start mincing some players. They get the demo man and they get the scout kill. Not quite the Pickles kill that they were hoping for, maybe, if in that pop of the Uber, but it's still kind of delaying that time.
Yeah, it's sort of a win and a loss there for Dirty Maggots. They get a lot of cap time, and they did eventually force the Uber, but they're down to 43 seconds. Yes, it's Uber ad, but they're using into a sniper. They're going to have to force really, really early, unless Piggles is going to try and milk it forward. No, not able to Zams it. They need to jump, but actually hits the air sticky the second time around, pops up Uber into the air, who does Cracer. But Eon is nowhere to be found.
Well, they traded an Uber for a sniper. I'm not sure if they were happy with that over on Dirty Maggots, but they will get the point as well. No casualties either, so this could be worse, this could be better, honestly. So now it's up to Mac and company to make the push out. They're going to have the Uber charge relatively soon, but not quite yet, so they're just kind of biding their time, kind of drawing a bit more of the clock away. And now that they have the Uber, they can go on the offensive, but it might be a bit harder because they still have Juno on that sniper.
Look at this flank bust as well. Voxy and Gigi have gone all the way deep in behind, but that's not meaning that they're able to be on the point and able to defend, because Captime already coming through, and are they even going to have to use this Uber to get the point? Maybe they are, because Gigi's going to bomb in, but never mind. Sylvs on the 7k comes in and sweeps that one up and under the rug, as now it's going to be even Ubers. 25 seconds on this red timer, and Dirty Maggots, they've got to get in, and they've got to do it fast because the timer's ticking down.
Yeah, and they didn't even spare that Uber over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers, so it's really up to some clutch play at these moments, finite moments of the game. Uber Charger is up for Pickles now, so it is even, but I suspect the first one to pop here is the first one to lose out in this fight. And we have Dirty Maggots popping first. They respond in kind over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. Sail's getting a big fat solo. He's trying to make the multi just a little bit. Juno is still working during all of this, need I remind you. The scouts come in for the collapse. They focus on the right similar targets. Meanwhile, Juno is still blinking away at the body of Dirty Maggots, and Dirty Maggots will fall here, Ben.
Wow, fantastic play, fantastic recollapse, headshots ringing out left and right, everyone on that point just getting deleted in those blue colours, and I don't know, I came into this, I was on Team Dirty Maggots. Can I change my prediction, or is it too late for that? I think it's too late for now, isn't it?
Confidence, confidence, confidence. What a lovely first round for the Bloodsail Buccaneers, and that's going to make you feel like that big sigh of relief going into your map pick and having it start out like that. But this is Premiership TF2, Ben. It's all about adaptation, and Dirty Maggots, they need to show their adaptating powers if they think they're going to play off a witness in the grand final.
And that adaptation might well be in the form of Voxy coming up on the sniper, but it's not worked out too well because Yunu's the first one who brings out a headshot over on to Jordy, and as well, notice here Voxy on Scout is the one going into sniper, so it's two soldiers for the Dirty Maggots, which might make it a bit harder to deny bombs if there is some aggressive pressure.
Zams has gone
Voxy,
down,
but Zams actually gets dropped down by Bloke.
Okay, well, Sil will kind of feed his life, but it's fine. It's trading kill for kill, I guess, and nobody's really capped the point yet, so those spawns aren't quite as punishing. Jordy will go in aggressive, but gets isolated, controlled by Mac and Sail, and now they can claim their point. Juno's got the snipe onto Pickles once more. He gets the bonus Fox tag kill as well. This man keeps on giving.
Outrageous, absolutely beautiful stuff from Yunu. Clearly warmed up on this sniper. Fantastic shots ringing out left and right. Fabulous work. And Voxy still hitting shots on Yunu.
What are you doing on my map? Get out of my map, says Juno. Oh!
Dear me. Wow. How do you come back from that if you're on Dirty Maggots?
Okay, well, Voxy's still got confidence. He's rocking the sniper still. I still like this play. I think even if you think like the mismatch between snipers is a bit skewed, anti-sniper sniper is still annoying to deal with if you're on the enemy team. I say that Voxy's immediately been picked off, but they allows a bit of distraction away for Jordy to get that kill onto Juno. But he's just going to come back in 11 seconds time here, Ben.
And Jordy might be a late death here. Actually going to not quite get a kill there onto Sylvs. But once again, it's a complete shutout. They're not getting a look in onto this point on the Dirty Maggots. They're going to try again. They got their spawner up on Voxy, going to peek in on this sniper, going to try and find something as the dot rings around lower, but there's no medic to be found because Eon's playing it over towards Japan's side, and they've got to be wary now because it looks like Bloodsail Buccaneers might be wanting to take a scout trade.
Oh my god, Pickles is literally dancing on there. If Mac only knew, they will pop off the Uber, so they respond with their Uber on Dirty Maggots this time, but they're kind of scratching their head. What do we do now?
The trap is still there, by the way.
And
be known, this
Sill's
will be
been picked
at
off.
any moment.
Does Mac bind your mouse too, my man? But I guess it goes to show how on pressure this man is feeling. Keep in mind, if the trap is still there, yeah, they notice it now, finally. But during all this time, Mac hasn't even had to use his stickies.
Wow, and look at all the time that's come off the clock again. Almost a 2-minute time advantage now for Bloodsail Buccaneers as There's been Yunu the star of the show this round and for a good portion of last round, but now might be a bit of a harder task because it's a bit more of an even situation. Snipers peeking left and right here up onto China, trying to find the angle onto each other. It might be the soldiers instead, as Bloke's gone deep behind, Yunu finding a kill into GG, and Zams is falling, and now is where it can really potentially start crumbling for Dirty Maggots, unless they manage to sweep up Bloke, which is something, but they are going to have to concede the point, and this timer is not looking great.
I know it looks like a death on Bloke, but really he was playing a massive play for them there. He was just a distraction.
Oh, yeah,
he bought
sure.
by not 1, 2, but 3 sets of eyeballs away from the rest of Bloodsail Buccaneers. So they capped in that time and they got a pick in that time. And he wasted so much time, went behind. It's really quite a Salentes play. So I really credit to him to kind of find that and get behind there unscathed. And Sill showing a bit of flash on the scout. They will exchange Uber charges to make sure that nobody really goes down in that. And it's almost kind of soft bagel. Just, you're capping the point. Let me just block with my Uber. Oh, Voxy! Did you know he's still playing Sniper? I forgot, but Junu's still there on Sniper too. And he's dropping down. He's getting confident. He gets the pick onto the Demo Man. And yeah, they've lost the point, but it's only a mere couple of seconds off the clock here, Ben.
And Piggle has as well got completely isolated, so hasn't been building Uber now for, 10-15 seconds. Had to run out from main and just disconnect from the rest of the team. So this could have been a bit of a bigger advantage, but as it stands, we're talking Well, we've had a pause, but at the minute it's 20%, 25% advantage, so it's maybe pushable. But into a sniper, you're going to have to use so early. It might be relatively tough, but I don't know, with 20 seconds left, I don't want to run too much into the metagaming of, there's been a pause, there's that on the round end, all that sort of things, but this is dark times for Dirty Maggots, I think, with 20 seconds left, getting locked out.
Yeah, so pretty good. I'm trying to think, if I was in the Dirty Maggot sort of locker room and they came out for a quick timeout, what do you even tell them, Ben? What kind of wise words would you say to them? Do you like the anti-sniper, or is it not really gelling for you? Is there other things that seem to be on fire for Dirty Maggots right now?
I think Voxy hasn't had much of an opportunity to do much. We've seen a couple of nice shots, but I think they're really put off the whole going stock standard and just trying to bomb soldiers like you traditionally would, because they got shut down instantly every time they tried to get like a double soldier bomb in behind to get in onto Uno in that round one. That I can understand why they feel the chances are better with Voxy on Sniper. And yeah, like I said, Voxy, when the shots have been presented, he's hit a fair few of them, but I still think it's one of those that they're going to have to just step it up because 2 rounds down, and there's no need to obviously change anything from Bloodsail Buccaneers. They're in cruise control at the minute.
Ben, 2 scouts versus 2 soldiers on this map of product. Is this just a wrong formula here? Do you think that Jordy and GG should really just bite the bullet and start using bullets, or I don't know, is there still like room for a good recipe here with these 2 soldiers?
It's possible. We obviously saw G6 do it over in Denver. They had Bomo and Sniper a lot of the time on their product games, and they had a reasonably good success with it. But for now, with 18 seconds left, they can leave that thought till next round, because they're going to have to walk in. They do have advantage, and they might be getting this Uber just about in time to get on the point. But they're going to have to get cap timer first. Sam's taken so weak, and never mind, they're not getting the advantage because Bloke comes in and strips that Uber charge straight away from the Dirty Maggots medic. Eon going to be escaping out, and looks like they might be conceding the point here on Bloodsail Buccaneers. They're just going to play it mega safe. Like I said, there's no need to walk forward, no need to risk too much here. It's going to be overtime. There's going to be 2 whole minutes for them to come back in and use this full Uber charge advantage to reclaim the point, and it's got to be odds on for Bloodsail Buccaneers to take this.
Yeah, it's very hard to make sure you don't even give up the point when the enemy team has a full Uber advantage. They're popping straight away. They're not leaving any sort of room for error. And Delta Split, everybody just find a corner of the map and avoid them. But somebody needs to stick around to block the point for long enough. That's the soldiers' job. They're going to get back in. And the scouts come back in at the same time as these soldiers are dancing around. They're making an effort of it over on Dirty Maggots, but it's brought down to the wire. These scouts are going to have to be extremely clutch. Sail can't quite land it so far. Juno is still working during all of this, and there's just too many bodies here, Ben.
It was a valiant effort. It was a really valiant effort, particularly from Jordy and Gigi there. They were jumping and spinning and flailing around in the air, dragging lots of eyeballs around. But at the end of the day, they did have to land, and when they landed, they were landing on people who'd been shiny for quite a while and had quite a lot of health points left. So didn't quite work out. And we see now round 3. We talked before in the little pause about what, like, if there was going to be any kind of switch up here on Dirty Maggots. They have gone back to their original round 1 strategy. They've gone for 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, stock standard. It's going to be a bomb in deep from Geordie, trying to get some pace. Look at the aggression here from Dirty Maggots. They've taken so much space before the point is even capable. They're content to walk deep, deep forward.
Yeah, so they won't lose any casualties. Kind of big up on Bloke to make sure he doesn't go down on the flank there, and will recruit with his team. And they're just kind of biding time for Juno to find the pigs. Mac with some massive pipes! 1 and 2 kills for him. A medic kill to boot as well. And when Panic Station starts going wild, they will throw everybody and the kitchen sink at Eon just to tie the turn of these Ubers back. And they will be successful in doing so, but it's going to cost them some time on the clock.
Fabulous, fabulous work from Mac. We've seen a few times this map. These pipes over point have done fabulous
excuse
work.
me. Gigi actually kind of threading the needle there and finding Juno all the way back. He's got no medic, so he was kind of playing and toying with no sort of heals during that moment. So now it's a bit more cookie cutter over on Mac and company. Zam's really pushing aggressive, wants to put this damage out into Mac. So much kind of pressure onto Mac. He will go down, and they're doing an admirable job over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers to keep what they have alive during all of that pressure. And Juno, he's back, and he's back with a vengeance. Eon, he's brought down very low, will go down to the Geordie pressure, and now the scouts have let loose. There is no chain, there's no leashes, and they're mad, they're angry, they want the AF kill. He's running away, he's taking the medic taxi all the way back to his spawn, but they will have that medic Uber advantage.
Yeah, Geordie, I actually have no idea how he's allowed to live for so long there down at the bottom of the house. I think it might have been a couple of beef shots, I'm not quite sure, but he gets that final rocket off. He must have thought it was safe, backing up into that corner, and now it's going to be full Uber ad for the blue side. It's been a rare situation. Bomb comes in from Bloke and actually gets the force out here really early on, but space being taken. Yunu's gone down on the sniper as well, so they can get themselves set up here in Dirty Maggots, and they can really get themselves a foothold into this round for what I think is the first time this entire series.
Mac and Sil have no heals on this left-hand side while they're pressuring. They really could have done with Eon rotating around or just cancelling out their attack on the cliff. But none of these really happened at the same time, so they will get punished for it. They get picked off and just chipped away down, and now they have to deal with a forward hold. And they're not used to this, so maybe this might be kind of a choking on the Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Well, they've got the pyro up over on Yunu, and they've got a kill onto Mac as well, really early on. That's a fantastic find there from Gigi as everyone else tries to bomb away and scarper their way back out onto the middle point, get themselves reset up. Bit of spam being taken by Piggles, who has dropped fairly low, but with no sniper to capitalise just yet until Yunu spawns up just now. He's going to be relatively safe, just sitting in the pocket area, and honestly, success for both these teams. Time has been delayed well as the overcharge comes in.
Yep, we've used the Uber charge. Are we going to man up there? Are we not going to use it? Eon will finally pop it now. They're actually going to ignore Voxy and immediately start going after Piggles. I like this play, but it makes their post-Uber very weak. And you can see Geordie and Gigi try to capitalize this immediately. But fortunately, I think the flank team, Bloke and whoever else was helping him on the flank, was doing a wonderful job of just kind of killing other people during all of that Uber fighting.
Yeah, that was about half a second away from being the absolute perfect Uber on the counter pop there from Eon, but it just fades an awkward time in there trying to get out to Japan and just gets completely collapsed. So no Uber advantage to speak of for either of these teams. And I would say for once a clock advantage coming up as players going in behind for both these teams. Wait a minute, what's happening here? They were getting into a bit chaos again.
Okay, so Bloke gives up his position on the flank, but he does get the Piggles kill. So kind of trading, you know, a sniper for a medic pick. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people would take that advantage. As speaking of advantage, Eon is building it over on the cliff with Mac.
Yeah, what's it going to be? What, 70% by the time Piggles is spawning in? It's going to be very, very sizable. And honestly, they didn't lose a ton of cap time because, okay, they sacked in a couple of players with Piggles, but they didn't just get Piggles. They got a couple of other frags as well, so they have managed to cap the point up straight away, get themselves set in. Ubercharge can be ready in a few more moments, but the flank bust again. We've seen Bloke get bullied all the way off as Geordie's going to bomb him behind, and they're really going to try and collapse here, try and get this Ubercharge off of Eon, but yeah, too early.
You got to keep in mind, when Bloke is disengaging on the flank, he's not just backing out from his spawn, he's backing out to his teammates. He's a +1 to help him deal with these Geordie flanks. So Geordie isn't really capitalizing here. He's making the Bloodsail Buccaneers stronger on their response.
Yeah, again, the little soldier 1v1 happening on the flank. They've had some good fun this entire game, GG and Bloke on there. Bloke
Oh,
gonna
not
win
the
it out,
crossbow.
lose it out this time around, but we said about this Uber advantage, it's still kind of there. Eon down to 20 HP.
Oh, the
Balls
jumping
of steel, the
Zams,
bomb
they
comes in,
really
sure
want
they're
the
going to pop
medic pick.
eventually. Oh, he dodges everything. Fantastic, actually, for me on that. To not pop there is brilliant, brilliant work. And now, look, they wanted to take this aggressive. They would have forced Piggles.
They don't need to, though. They've got the points still, and they're just using this Uber charge as like insurance, basically. They don't want to get aggressive with it. Piggles still has his Uber charge now. He needs to get all of his players back in, get them all buffed up, and now it's time to go in the gauntlet once more, Ben.
50 seconds, players 23, as again we see the soldiers both sides bombing in deep on behind. We're going to see the Uber charge forced out from one of these sides at some point soon, or never mind, we're not, because Piggles gets struck down by Bloke. Uber charge forced out now from Eon, but how many players in the blue are even left alive? Dirty Maggots crumbling at either side, and it was just an unfortunate drop. Took a fair bit of damage at once there in Piggles, and wasn't able to press that right mouse button in time, and this might seal the deal, or it might not. To be fair, the spawners are quick, and Mac is down, so there is chance actually for Dirty Maggots to get in here. This is a wild, wild end to round number 3.
You know, they will get the point. Oh, Juno getting the pick onto GG, and Bloke is going to kind of come in and pressure the point of slightly open up things for their scouts to kind of come in, but they haven't really got much damage past that. Mac has only just joined the team back now, and he will find a couple of pipes on re-entry, and it's ticking down. We are going to hit overtime, I think, and we need to get some souls onto that cap point, but fortunately the cap time just doesn't degrade quick enough for them to really play off into the overtime. They will get it now. They just need to cap over on Dirty Maggots. GG will go down, but he's going to come back soon during all of this overtime, and they pop off overcharge. Piggles is running, he's dodging, he can't quite get
97,
killed.
98, 97 HP goes down at 99%. Oh,
no, but the point, they still have a few souls. GG comes in, gets the kill, but Mac is still alive and well during all of this. It was probably the most important scout pistol we've seen all season.
99%, and Piggles honestly did amazingly well to make it there. He was getting Ubered into one about 87%-ish and lived all the time until 99%. And imagine that Uber charge comes off. There is a real world that Dirty Maggots just kill everything and just win the round there and then.
Yeah, keep in mind, Neo only dodged like 2 bullets or something like that, and they got grazed by the third. Piggles must have dodged like, what was it, like an entire clip, a reload, another clip?
Oh, crazy, crazy stuff. Wow, what a performance.
Well, I mean, to say that was a 3-0, I think it was more the expectations, the more kind of telling the world that Bloodsail Buccaneers have a chance at this. They have not only to make the upset happen against Forfence, but also happen against Dirty Maggots here. And they start off strong, and you should do on your map pick.
Yeah, I think they played a lot better today than on the game against Forfence. I think it was very clean. There was, especially those first 2 rounds, they were in complete control. Yunu hit a few shots on Tuesday, hit a load more tonight on this game. And I want to shout out, we mentioned his name quite a few times on the cast. I think Bloke played phenomenally well.
Oh, Ben, what a correct answer you have given. Yes, he has a much more fortunate time in this game compared to his last game. Last game, he was kind of going through the soldier ringer, but his team was still kind of pulling the weight, and kind of, it was like an even trade. You know, hey guys, I'm going to have a bad team. You're going to have to, really carry, or at least pay off all these deaths I'm having. But this man had, kept himself alive, really fortified, and kept Juno alive, who then kept delivering on these little picks out of nowhere, which got the ball rolling. And yeah, really, really good. Obviously, Sail is having a wonderful time because that's just one less soul to dish out the heals to. Sil, I don't think Sil really needed to be activated as he was in the previous game, because again, Bloke was doing fine over on this flank.
Yeah, it was really, really well played, and let's say all round, like this is like a really powerful statement, I think, going forward. Because like, just think, there's a LAN next week, right? Who is gonna pick or allow products through against this team? Maybe if you're mega confident, you can do it, but with a statement result like this, especially the land around the corner, like it's especially important.
Yeah, I think you'll have people definitely maybe just marking this map as an easy ban. But, it's shoulda, woulda, coulda for this playoff at least. And, I mean, speaking of shoulda, woulda, couldas, do you think it could have gone better with KN, Ben? There was GG not quite the K and the N?
I don't think GG did much wrong. There's like, again, as a soldier on products, it's got a reputation for one of the harder soldier maps anyway, and honestly, getting plucked out the sky every every few seconds by Uni when those two scouts as well. The hit scan did really reign supreme, and that's never going to be fun for a soldier. But I don't know. Obviously, like we can say ifs and buts. If KN didn't get himself banned right when playoffs is about to happen, But I don't think GG did much like noticeably like very wrong. I'm not sure it would have made that big of a difference. I don't think KN coming in would make them win the game or anything. But it's hard to say. It's the soldier they've played all season with, so it was obviously going to mix things up a little bit. But no, I don't think I'm not throwing any of the blame at GG's feet, to be honest.
What about these two soldiers? Obviously, it wasn't just GG on the soldier class. Jordy was also having a rough time on the soldier class as well. It's got to be hard, when you've got to expend your health, your ammo to move and traverse around in this game, and the scout just has to press the S key. What injustice is this, Ben?
Yeah, and it's not just that as well. The amount of times I saw Geordie bomb onto the Bloodsail Buccaneers grass and just get like completely counter jumped by Bloke. Bloke just pops himself up in the air and then just wins the 1v1 or bombs away to the rest of the combo, and then Sylves comes over and helps out and takes it into a 2v1. It's unfair, That's what you get insulted at for doing an MGE, right? If you bomb someone and they counter jump, it's, oh well, I can just splash the ground now. But I think Geordie experienced a lot of that this game and was just kind of getting outplayed a bit on these fights deep on flank.
It wasn't completely bad though. There was a point in time where they did have a forward hold pressed upon them, but they showed a bit of a nuance here over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They did bust that quite convincingly and converted it as well. And then obviously resumed gameplay, got back onto Sniper and just carried on playing with the game. And obviously the Sniper is annoying, but it wouldn't look as good without all the supporting parts of it. And this is probably one of the better supported snipers I've seen, actually. Yeah, you know what I've seen. It really looks like it works in tandem with everybody. Everybody's on the same page there. It's not just like, oh, there's a sniper in the mix. Sometimes he gets some frags, but nobody's covering this dude. He is very much a core part of this fort plan of Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Yeah, we saw it work pretty well against Forfeits, right? Obviously, the takeaway line from that, which everyone was harping on about, was that Sale got an outrageous amount of kills in the Forfeits game, and a lot of that was due to just being basically attached at the hip to the sniper and just walking around everywhere. And just anytime a soldier bomb was defending really well, and product on a map like products, the sniper's getting focused down really hard, and okay, in every single trade the sniper's getting caught. Unu only died 7 times the whole match. For a sniper on product, that's like that means something is certainly going right with your scouts.
Well, hopefully everyone can reset here now, as it is a best of 3. Need I remind you, Twitch? Need I remind you, watchers of Essential Stream or whatever sort of platform you're watching this at this point now? Granary is going to be our second map. Get that King of the Hill out of here, Ben. CP control. We're going to definitely see no sniper on Granary. The map is just way too long for that.
Yeah, at least not until the last point. There are some things you can do around last in the stalemates, but yeah, other than that, this is going to be seeing Junu back over onto the scout, and maybe that's a sigh of relief that the Dirty Maggots can breathe in. But out of 3 of us, yeah, I went first last time in predictions. Who do you think is going to win Granary? Do you think Dirty Maggots going to come back? Do you think they've got the fight in them?
I see you're farming my correct crystal ball for your channel points. Okay, I'll play into your game. I think that the Bloodsail Buccaneers are feeling good. You know what? I think they're actually going to make history repeat itself, and they're going to tidy this best of 3 in a nice 2-0 ribbon.
2-0? You think they're going to do it?
They're going to do it.
I think it's possible.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with my Map 1 prediction. I think Dirty Maggots have got this. I think we saw them play it a few times during the season as well. I think it's a strong map. It's historically been a very good Zams map. I've seen it a fair few times, and I just think okay, yeah, we saw Uni pop up on Sniper, like we said, we're not going to see that, and of course he's a fantastic scout as well, but I think it's a complete switch up. I don't want to lean too much into the result of product here. I still think Dirty Maggots are the better team here coming into Granary, and I think they're going to send it to a third map, and we're going to see sunshine.
All right, streamers, buckle in as we're going into our second map of the ETF2L 6v6 Season 50 playoffs. It's the lower bracket final, Bloodsail Buccaneers versus Dirty Maggots. Keep your eyes on that demo because they're going to be racing each other towards this mid, and the first one really to arrive there is going to lay out some pretty damning damage on the starting demo. Speaking of, Mac brought down very low. He's going to have to get some crossbow loving, but won't really get punished for it, as both teams playing really defensive, Ben.
Bit of a slow start. This has sort of become the meta, at least recently. People like ripping these soldier sacks so fast, but eventually we are going to see some high jumps in from one side or the other, and it looks like Geordie and Gigi are the first ones to circle around, as Gigi commits hard in onto Eon. Big damage landing all around on these red players, but it's actually Zams and Gigi, the first two to fall, and big rockets for themselves as well. Wow.
Oh my god, that was pretty good. I guess the best strategy to deal with Geordie during all that is just ignore him. You know, he's an apparition. Lol. Like, I just don't address the guy. Well, they did have to address Gigi. Gigi was literally dogpiled right on top of the combo, so they clean him up, and then they just take the ground and more like take the high ground away from Dirty Maggots. And well, they won't lose Pickles though, so it will be kind of a connector versus mid kind of stalemate.
Yeah, this is. I'd say like apart. Oh, never mind. Left
Oh
to
my
come
God.
straight in. Never mind. Big force in.
Is nobody watching the door?
Yeah, speed shots in from Choke completely for free, and I don't think anyone was watching that door.
Well, embarrassing.
Right, yeah, like it's rough.
Yeah, and they even knocked down the stickies as well. So if they really wanted to, yeah, the stickies have been dead. They can't really be in a position to put these stickies back because they haven't got an Uber charge. So they're going into yard 3 over on Bloodsail Buccaneers, and they're already pushing in onto left. Sail clearly wants to be let loose, and they won't even pop immediately for Geordie. Geordie will actually force out the Uber in the tail end of that, but can they really scrap enough of this Uber together to make a last push?
While they're trying, Geordie's going to be a kill already. They're getting a good amount of space in, a good amount of damage onto this high ground as well. Silver's going to go down, but the collapse from these scouts and these soldier. Pickles goes down, and more players falling on this last point. It's not over at all yet. Sail going to try and dance out another point, but never mind. It looks like Eon is going to have to run away as the sole survivor for the Bloodsail Buccaneers, but that got really dicey for a few moments there for Dirty Maggots. I thought they might have been going 1-0 down just that post Uber. It got really scrappy, but the DM prevails.
Yeah, they got Pickles down, and Bloke did so much damage as well. Laid out a good sort of attempt for them to make this push out, but they just took too long over on Bloodsail Buccaneers, and they had the respawners of Geordie and company to kind of come back and give them a second wind over on Dirty Maggots, and that's why they're still kind of kicking in this round to this point. They will obviously had no Uber bobbling away because Pickles has gone down during that. So Eon has got a little bit of advantage, but realistically they shouldn't know that they have advantage.
No, they lived. Eon lived on the way back, but just didn't have anyone to beam, so they think it might be a bit
Oh,
more
okay,
hard than
well,
it really
maybe
is. They're going to bomb in very far deep, but I think Pickles is getting way earlier than the Bloodsail Buccaneers are planned for. Yeah, it's not looking great.
Yeah, so maybe that's more credit to Pickles and everybody else to actually build the Uber that much quicker than I just assumed that Eon went down during all of the chaos of that last.
Eon lived but had no one to taxi out, so lived on about 10 or 15%, and it was genuinely like, yeah, around, it was less than 20 yards by the time they went in.
I think surely at that point they could have got the calculators out then and realised that maybe 10% is kind of finite, but you know, maybe given a hard lesson learned on Granary, as GG going a bit aggressive for my liking, wants to really challenge the scouts but won't play off in that, and this bloke allows himself to get to the top. He's going to go for the Pickles bomb, won't find anything for it, but he finds a lot of distraction. Everybody else was kind of busy dealing with Pickles and going in their own fights without heals, that they could take second because of that.
Really nice play, and yeah, the distraction works again. We saw it work beautifully over on product in the first map, and once again we're seeing Bloke make tons and tons of space.
He's gone down again.
Yeah, GG might be getting traded out by Voxy, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, but Junu's going to come in and now maybe make the trade again. But Voxy fortunately breaks this chain, and Bloke speaking. Oh wait, no, he wants to go in on Geordie. I know you're not getting a heal, son, but he
Junu's in
turns, goes for the Zams. Dirty Maggots probably a bit flustered there. Like, what the hell have you been feeding these animals? They're just going in.
Yeah, Matt gonna catch Voxy as well. The back and forth sacks never really stop. They just haven't let up at all. Is Voxy going to get caught to a trap and a pipe there from Mac in lobby? And I'm thinking now, we saw Yunu going incredibly aggressive on that last sack, and that signals to me there might be some off-class shenanigans happening, because Silvers is just in regardless. Never mind the off-class, because he's...
GG? Oh no, he's alive. Okay.
Not one for the frag movie.
Yeah, sorry, Beta. You're going to have to put away your camcorder. I don't think it's going to be there, but... Don't worry, Beta, but bring it back up. We've got Juno on Sniper. You remember the Juno Sniper? It was very good on Product, yeah?
Yeah, Geordie's checking for it. They're going to be aware. But Sniper into a Granary last can be a bit of an annoyance. These shutters can be pretty deadly. And also the angle towards the top in the little window room as well can be a bit of a pain. As you see Sale and Mac just grouping up.
He's opened the door for him, so Juno's having a peek, but... I wanted you to know there's the 8 sticky hatred over on this right-hand side. Most Devil men, they're like, I'll put 2, I'll maybe put 4. Zam's like, no, I hate this door so much. 8 stickies for the man. So while they're disarming some of these, I don't think they realise that they've got all of the hatred kind of spread on this right-hand side. But they rotate doors like any good sniper would, and they're trying a bit on the left now, seeing if they could use the sniper as not only a kill opportunity, but bait. Geordie is playing the jetpack, I should say, more like the parachute. He's going to rocket jump in, and he's just going to keep in the sky. Superior high ground.
Yeah, we've seen this earlier in the season. I believe it was also Dirty Maggots doing it then. It's a real pain to push in when this parachuting soldier is just descending above the shutter door. It's just impossible to walk in, and it's even harder to walk in when there's a sniper ripping off your demo man's head. So maybe that's going to have to, settle things for a moment. The Bloodsail Buccaneers have to get themselves resupplied and for the attack.
I felt that, obviously, our former teammate of Mac. This is for all the games you beefed on us, and you ruined our golden cats.
Ah dear. But yeah, no, they're not gonna counter sack or anything. Not gonna go for anything too crazy over on that side. But over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers side, they have gone crazy. Well, I say crazy not in a bad way. They've decided to experiment, and they've experimented with Bloke coming up over on the spy as he's getting ready to potentially drop in.
The signature Bloke spy. This man likes to disguise himself as soldier. Really plays the part of the Oscar. Really, the acting skills are top notch on this man. So let's see if he can.
Caught by the parachute. That's not the start they wanted.
It's going to be hard though, because it's not only have you got to get to the medic and you've got the sentry gun and all these other aspects as well. But Voxy, while he sat there, having built the sentry gun and the dispenser and all this, there's nothing for him to do. He's literally just going to sit around and start shooting random corners. And yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And a board engineer is a deadly engineer.
Yeah, there we go. It's only 16 damage, but they know for sure that there is a spy on the board. You'll see in the outline when that damage hit, and now it's sap and sack is about the only thing you can really do in these situations.
He's calling out where Piggles is, and he's actually uncloaked. He's going under the James Bond pistol kill, but doesn't quite work out. And I wonder if he has the weak pistol as well. I'm trying to find his body. Yeah, the weak pistol. So it was a very hard kill. If he had the regular pistol, that's like 3 shots and you're dead. Maybe with the weak one, maybe 4. I was kind of hoping maybe another bomb to come in. You can dodge this sentry gun a little bit, especially with the pipes in the way. So coordinate between the security camera and the spy gun. You might get something working here. They pop off the Uber. They take out the sentry gun. Zams is in the corner. Will get bailed out by Piggles. And now they get to feast upon the corpse of Mac. And oh yeah, there's a free crit for the engineer for some reason. And well, they will throw in Bloke as well, just for howdy do. But there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. We're going back to mid then.
We are. It's one of those where you may as well, there's 30 seconds left by the time they're using it. You may as well roll the dice and just hope that something crazy happens, but not to be. Back to mid-fight again. After what was, at the end of the day, not a particularly eventful 10-minute round. After that first force onto Piggles in second, it was really just a lot of time spent around in and out of lobby over on the Dirty Maggots last, but the defense is looking incredibly strong, and especially these parachutes I'm really, really liking. I think it's going to be very tough to break in past these stalemates. Mac's been caught a couple of times to it, and we'll see if they're going to need to meet it again. But there's a mid-fight to come up first, as we see both teams getting rolled out for mid-fight number 2.
Well, Zams was much quicker, and he's quicker again. And Mac has learned his lesson this time. He's like, I'm not even going for that health back. I'm just going to wait right here. And he gets a quick buff because of it, and now we can continue. It seems like almost like a little light pause before we start the mid-fight. Voxy, he's just holding the W key, and GG is going to come in at the same time. It was a kind of a nice play by Voxy. That aggression made them all bunch up over on Bloodsail Buccaneers, but when the dust settles, they've got a medic over on Dirty Maggots, and the other team does not.
Absolutely. Mac miles away from the fight as well. Yunu's going to get 2v1 as Mac tries to jump in. But
that's some classic Mac. That's not the Renaissance Mac. But, just clanging into the box when you really wanted to get on top of the medic at that moment. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But it's okay. It's maybe an opportunity for the Bloodsail Buccaneers to show that they can not only attack, but they can defend.
Now for Dirty Maggots, this is a bit of a race against the clock, because Eon dying so quickly on that mid may well be getting in time for last. And we see this sort of this passive stance in lobby as well. They really wanted to squeeze out every last second that they can here over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They really want to get these last couple of percents of Uber charge up, and they are going to do it. So it's actually going to be into an even Uber situation rather than a full discard, which I think it's fine.
They didn't. They got the Uber charge back basically during all that time, and they spent so much time weaseling their way into second tentatively. It allowed them to build the Uber. I thought they might have just gotten pretty quick with it. It started going straight into last, but I guess not. As Gigi will go down, but it's quite an inconsequential kill, as gives the opportunity to maybe go for an off class here over on Dirty Maggots.
We will see. It's going to be a few more seconds before that one comes. It could even not just be an off class. It could be a parachute of their own. It could be a banner. There's a fair few things you can try over on GG. I guess we'll see by the time he's rolled out. I don't think I see anything too unusual so far. No, it looks like it's still all stock standard. And with 4 minutes left, there's no need to start bringing out the wild cards yet. They've got plenty in their playbook still, I'm sure.
Yeah, it seems we've completely changed gears in this Bloodsail Buccaneers sort of playbook. We went from 61 kills on a product once upon a time to now 6 buildings on the last point, and well, they're gonna throw in 3 players. The play here is basically make it tantalizing for the enemy team to make this push out. What better way to push last than to make the enemy team fail on second? And that's what it is. They've baited those players into second for pushing, and allows them to kind of capitalize with them on their Uber, but they didn't really do a head counter. They haven't kept track. That Syl is still in the Z, and GG is going to go down because of it.
Really nice play there from Silvers. I wonder if this is going to attempt to push out now, because, okay, Sailor's in the respawn queue, but if Silvers can kind of reconnect, it is full Uber ad. But it seems to me like Bloodsail Buccaneers, they don't want to bother. And honestly, seeing how risky these push-outs can be, the age-old saying, push out, big mistake, it might well be a big mistake to push out in situations like this, particularly on a map like Granary, where it's really, really tough to lock out the second point and hold it for an extended period of time. So they're going to chill. They're just going to sit on their own last and give GG time to come up on a sniper of his own.
Yeah, it's the Bloodsail Buccaneers lower bracket final. This is their sort of Cinderella story. Do you think they're going to risk it for 0.4? No, sir. They're going to kind of wait things out and put the pressure on Gigi, who's come up on sniper. And pretty hard point, I would say, especially if they want to keep rocking parachutes as well over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. But whether or not, I don't really see an opportunity for the sniper, to be honest.
It's really tough, especially when you're swapping off a soldier for it on a last minute push like this. But we'll see. Gigi's got the rifle out, hits a 123 there onto the soldier who's guarding the door. And, Af getting caught out by the return snipe from Sail is gonna close things down just for the moment now as everything resets once more. And we've quietly had almost half of this game. And have we really left these last points yet?
No, it can be annoying. It's basically, look at the size of the doorways. I'm pretty sure one door in process is bigger than all the door space on Granary combined. So it's really hard to kind of deal with these little doors. And keep in mind as well, people start to get really creative with how scummy they can get with the unlocks here. Mac is rocking the cannonballs. We've got the sentry gun. We've got the sniper all the way in the back. They've got the teleporter to also get the medic out.
Zams is in. Zams bombing in, landing forward, trying to get good damage in, but it got nothing.
Yeah, the sentry gun. Between the sentry gun, the cover of you got the dispenser Iron Man armor as well. He's got an exit if he wants to get out. Syl is literally closed to the door, so they can't even like spam him at the door as well. And they've got even a little tiny health pack near the door as well because of thanks to the new redesign of Granary.
Oh, but Sail's getting caught by the scout, actually. That's a big, big deal. Because now it's 6v5, and with no sniper watching these doors, getting in is going to be quite a big deal easier. That might be a bit of a costly overstep there from Sail, because look at this space now. They're able to get on this left-hand side. They're able to barge in, get 3 players through this door, bomb forward, try and get good damage. Eon's taking a pipe as well. Taken very low, but they might just be clinging on enough here on the Bloodsail Buccaneers. And that's the kind of opening that the Dirty Maggots have been after for 4 of these minutes. Just one pick and you can see the space they can get and the pressure they can crank up. But not to be. I think we're going to the round reset.
Yeah, they did well to really kind of find something, kind of pressuring Eon back there. And it did allow them to have no heals just for that little moment. But again, circling back to these doors are just really oppressive. Syl has literally got the 3 high ground to start off with. They're just going to pop off Uber. And they're even going to use the Uber on Sylvez just to kind of keep him healthy and keep their hopes unhopeful here on Dirty Maggots. They throw everyone into the blender, but the blender is so healthy. And what is the poor Dirty Maggot supposed to do?
Yeah, not very much when you've got half with a sliver of HP there around in the lobby. As we go to stalemate number 2, 13.5 minutes left to play. Still time for a round to come in, but it's maybe a mild bit concerning for these teams that both teams have now had a full 5 minutes. Odd enemy last at even Ubers. And to be frank, neither of them have looked close to breaking it.
Yeah, it is kind of that issue of a good offense makes a good defense, but a good defense does not make a good offense. We are literally going to be sitting here, and one of these two teams are going to have to figure it out, because it will come down to, you know, if nothing happens, golden cap, and if nothing happens in the golden cap, golden mid, and somebody has to win mid.
Yeah, in Europe, the games do end eventually.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. You don't have to, you know, book off time for work tomorrow morning. We will finish this game somehow, some way. And speaking of, we're actually having a little bit of a time extension, because both these two teams taking some time out, just kind of reviewing what needs to be done here. You could make some kind of meta predictions about what this portals means and implies, but we're not going to do that, are we?
It could be anything. It could just be...
Yeah, Jordy could just unplug a mouse.
Yep, they're in a random stalemate at some point, and someone's like, "Oh, my ping has gone up to 5 million."
Yeah, Mac could be tuning into the stream and just having a good little fiend. But we are going to continue.
Yeah, mid-fight number 3, we'll see again. Mac getting it completely locked away from this this health pack and not able to get too much done there on that one. As now we see same aggression again. I'm waiting for these bombs. Jordy's going to bomb in again, going to commit forward with Voxy as well on the ground, and look at this mulch over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Sylvs and Matt going down straight away. Big collapse in on the refight, but not going to get any lick of damage over onto Piggles. There's now only 3 players remain. They're going to back up, and I think we might be returning to where we were just a mere minute ago here on the red last.
Yeah, I think we found the sweet spot over on Dirty Maggots. They know where to toe the line and not get too aggressive and commit too much in. And it did allow a bit of opportunity for Blow to make his magic happen, as nobody was really checking in him on mid, but he just didn't really have a good foothold, or you know, just really had the stars align for him that mid anyways. Didn't really find any success with his solo YOLO escapades.
Yeah, well, now's the time when Dirty Maggots can really try and walk this in, because the gun hasn't been properly built up yet.
There's a lot of pressure.
It hasn't been clamped down properly at all, because 1-for-1 actually might just be enough with this sniper coming in. Big double bomb coming in, landing in onto Eon. Big Eon drops the uber charge. The soldiers get in, and that's the difference it makes.
Wonderful.
When they go fast before the gun is up. Beautiful, beautiful coordination there on that aggression. And yeah, Piggles uses the uber at the end, because why the hell not? You may as well, just for the logs. But how lightning fast was that?
Yeah, they say a chain is as strong as its weakest link, and it seems somebody faltered there. That first pick going down gives the confidence, and obviously they were in setup mode where they're at their weakest. They were still building this engineer. The engineer might as well have been dead. He literally pressed a button and he pieced out. He went back to his respawn with his own button.
Yeah, not looking great, and that mid-fight as well was fantastic for the Dirty Maggots as they start walking this one again, and it looks like it's going to be more aggression, but this time some circling bombs in response from Bloke, and Syl's going to try and get some damage. They have got a lot of damage over onto this Dirty Maggots team, but not a great deal. Okay, they have found 3 frags eventually cleaning up these soldiers in the backside, so now they're going to get mid-capped up, and they're going to try and set themselves up here. But with Mac being a late spawner, maybe they can't walk forward this advantage as much as they'd have wanted. But we'll see now. They've got themselves a foothold back in this round. See if they can get some space.
I like the switch up here from Bloodsail Buccaneers. They send both the 2 soldiers in, getting aggressive. It doesn't quite work out, but it buys a lot of space and room. And when they responded with their own double send over on Dirty Maggots, they just responded to it better. Sail coming in clutch.
Yeah, Piggle's taken down to 30 HP there, and Mac was firing some explosives in his general direction. Could have caught a stray one there and been caught out, but Yard has
I'm not sure if I
taken.
like this position from Piggles. He's basically saying, I want to use this Uber. I'm definitely using this Uber. So, well, you've used it now. What is the play at this point? Oh, no, the left-hand side is so much weak. Syl, for some reason, wanted to stay in during all this. I should say Sils or Sylvez. But, yeah, he stuck around way too long and didn't get the memo for the rest of his team that they were out.
Yeah, actually, that trade worked really well. Like, Piggles, he's committed to using, but the fact that they had to get so close to him to force that out meant that Eon had to pop straight away, and it was the positioning couldn't have been exploited at all, so that worked out really well. And again, like we say, catching that final kill is what keeps them in the yard now over on Dirty Maggots. They've kind of won half a point here in that exchange, and I will say the yard into mid hold is a lot easier to set up than a second point into yard hold, because there's only really these 2 doors that you can get through. And they're rather tough, but the soldier has managed to sneak in. That's going to be Bloke, but not going to find anything with that bomb.
Yeah, but Piggles is way back. Definitely not in the position that he was in before where that first round happened. 9 minutes left. 1 round up. You're going to feel a bit of the time squeeze at this point. Maybe a bit of, just kind of shivering legs here, Ben.
Yeah, for sure. They're getting themselves their spawners back in. See if they can get ready to hurl another soldier forward. See if it's going to be a Bloke drawing the short straw again, being sacrificed in, or if we're going to see a turn from Sils.
No, he's going for just some spam. So it leads me to believe that they're setting up a different play here. He's just trying to kind of pepper the medic, get him set up, get him nice and tasty and roasted, ready for the next person to kind of come in. So, but where is it going to come in from? There's only 2 doors, so you have a flip a coin, you have a good shot of maybe calling it out. They get the pick onto Sail, and that is definitely going to cool it here over on the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Geordie decides to get a bit aggressive, but that's fine. You've got the license to do so. Look, Sail is down. You're allowed to.
Yeah, they absolutely are, but this is a long spawn on Geordie, so there is potential now in this 5v5 situation to use the fact there's 1 less soldier holding these doors. It makes it a lot easier to get in, and they find that's a good 1-for-1 trade by GG, to be fair. That's really important.
Yeah, that's makes you kind of doubt whether or not you should keep committing into this, but the door is kind of locked behind them now. They can't really get out, and Bloke is going to keep slapping them from the back, but whether or not they'll address him, this is a good opportunity for him to maybe come in over on Bloke, but they've got a Voxy problem. He's actually behind trying to backcap on mid. A rest thing on TF2.
And has actually drawn a lot of players back. Is the soldier's going to be dealt with sweeping up Voxy, who has actually just gone deep all the way onto red second. And look at how much space they've had to concede, because they have to respect the backcap. It was a really nice timing, just getting in there from the garage. And he's still there, and they have to constantly now be aware. Every time they push forward, there's going to be a little bit of cap time creeping up in this second point, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and eventually, you've got to come back and at least commit somebody to go back to take the fight.
So it's a different game now for Voxy. Have you ever played Dark Souls, Ben? This is basically one of those sort of hopeless simulators where he's in the cold, dark, distant world on its own, and he's going to aggro a couple of enemies, but he's immediately going to go back in true Dark Souls fashion. But he's getting bum rushed now, so while they're having their little adventure back there, there's an adventure of Mac and company. This is a much more Team Fortress 2. We're still going to make this attempt onto... Well, we tried to make the attempt onto left, but Bloke kind of tripped himself and landed in some stickies. And they lose Sail as well. Voxy does go down, though, so rat problem cleared. No more Dark Souls. Quick game. And now they are tempted, but I don't think they're going to push here over on Dirty Maggots.
Well, there's 20 seconds left. There's it's all on Bloodsail Buccaneers to make something happen if they want to. They might be trying to walk this in from choke. It looks like they are. They're going to try and barge in. Mac taken very, very weak. Actually gets arrowed before the walk comes in.
Oh no, Juno's been dropped. He has been dropped in the Uber. I mean, if it wasn't 5 seconds left, there might have been a bit more consequence for this, but it's fine. It's okay. We're going to go to a stalemate. We're going to go to another mid. But if you're on the side of Dirty Maggots, you're probably laughing maniacally here, Ben.
Absolutely, they've held that one incredibly well. I think particularly the Voxy play bought them so much time. That situation genuinely did look a bit scary. Like, it was even players, but it looked for a moment like Bloodsail Buccaneers might be establishing themselves in yard. But with 5 minutes left, the Bloodsail Buccaneers, they cannot afford to run aground in that same way again. They have to keep the momentum going. They can't afford to have... It's outrageous, isn't it? Looking at these mid-fights.
He had like 1 HP if only Mac knew.
Yeah, but they have to speed things up on the Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Yeah, and they're not going to send it again like they quite did last time. And there we go. Bloke jumps in, and Sill's going to quickly follow behind, but immediately cleaned up on Bloke, and Sylvez's sort of bomb doesn't really find any fruit either. Will kind of reconnect with the rest of his scouts, and Mac is doing a lot of work. He's on his own, though. He could get kind of pushed on, but nobody's really addressing him. They finally want to go lay a scout into him now, but his team are back up, they're healthy, and they're ready to take the fight once more. I mean, to say that Dirty Maggots lost a lot of kills during that little foray, they're still not losing confidence here, and their respawn is going to come back so much quicker for Bloodsail Buccaneers than it is for Dirty Maggots, and they know this. They back out.
I wonder if Piggles was aware of the fact that he had a bit of disadvantage there, because as soon as he saw Eon get up to that Uber charge, he backed all the way off towards his own choke. But now Geordie has actually deep behind, and okay, this is getting rather messy on the flank again, trying to repeat what Voxy was doing before, but doesn't live for as long enough on Soldier.
He's died. He's down. He's dead. He uses the Uber over on Eon, and they're going to force Piggles' hand.
Eon's in trouble.
And, well, they're just going to back out, and yeah, they realise they can't really hold on to this yard. There's just not enough souls for them to do that, but that is one more step ever so closer to that last point, and now you could probably cheese this second without having to need an Uber charge, so they're going to do that. Look at this point, plink away, foot by foot, little by little.
Stickies, they're dead. Okay. There was a sticky toe over the door. I thought it might catch
someone. Oh my god, we're going in cold. Okay. Well, this is very, very, very weird for Granary. Usually you really want an Uber charge, but if they don't have an Uber, they don't have an Uber. They get the kill onto Geordie, who goes really forward. Oh, Juno! Oh, he got bitch slapped by that pipe and will not get the payoff that he was hoping to get on that.
Zam's down to about 20 HP before resub binding away. Almost found him.
Got the Uber.
Pickles doesn't have. Pickles
doesn't. He's been crossfowing.
75%. Been trying to go at this point.
They've got so much cap time.
They might be getting it.
Oh, he's trying to cap it, but they're all so low. Mac has got the sword out. But there's 3 players left. There's 1 scout player. If Sail is going to activate, he has to activate 10 seconds ago. And Juno, he's back in. The first initial scout that laid the problem. Nice rocket from Johnny.
Oh no, they can't do it. Oh, I thought those scouts were going to feast at the end. Juno and Sail, there were so many low HP players, they just couldn't quite find the shots. That could have been there in the grand final against Witness. Or at least to do it in 2, because at this point it looks like we might be going to a sunshine unless in this last 2.5 minutes the Bloodsail Buccaneers can find some magic. But it's going to have to be magic because we're back onto the second stalemate, and it's a stalemate they really struggled to break before, and Dirty Maggots, they have no reason to really want to overextend here, and they may as well temp in a bit, but they don't want to lose too many players. Geordie's actually gone down.
Overextended again. This has happened twice now in these last parts of the game, and Gigi is forced back, will not give up he will actually give up, he will go down. So that's 2 picks, and they can make their way into second. They're like, have second, I don't care, I don't want second, I just want time, I need more precious time. But 1 minute is realistically enough time to make something happen, but it's a different flavor of last now. There's no dry, there's definitely just a push about to be made with Ubers and Uber defenses.
Yeah, well, there's no gun yet, no time for that. Just a heavy on Voxy to try and hold this one down. 1 minute and 30 seconds separates Dirty Maggots
they
from
use the
a
Uber,
game on
and they
Sunshine.
will force out Piggles, and Eon is making his way back from the other door. Nobody wants to give up a death here over on Dirty Maggots, and we're just gonna have to get brave if you're over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. But they see 2 kills go down. How could they? And well, 1 minute left. I lied. There's still one more push in this because they were just so quick the first time.
1 more minute away from Sunshine for the Dirty Maggots. They're getting a gun this time around. They know they have just about enough time. After checking the off classes, seeing if anything silly is going to be coming in, see if there's perhaps a heavy or anything of that sort. Doesn't seem to be. As these Uber chargers hitting around 70%, they're going to be getting ready to burst through one of these doors. 43 seconds. It's all or nothing. You may as well have all your best shot here for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They have to go for it.
Yeah, so they're going to send it through on the top. They send Silvers first, and they're trying to deal with Geordie, but he gets recovered by the Piggles Uber. Very safe Ubering back and forth. Eon is in, by the way, so there is definitely no sort of insurances of backup. And yeah, a lot of warbugging to deal with this sentry gun, but Voxy just has to sit there and just keep hitting that sentry gun. That engineer prime and true, just keep this last point well and covered. What are they to do here, Ben? It's just a really, really safe and plain old last hold.
Well, they had their chance. They had one singular chance. Both teams had one chance the entire game. Dirty Maggots had theirs when it was that even-Uber situation from that mid-fight where they just charged straight forward and instantly they took the round in, what was it, 1 minute and 30 from the round start?
Yeah.
But when Bloodsail Buccaneers had it, when they had that, was it 25% advantage they were using in, they got a bit of cap time, they tried to scrap for it, but in that post-fight, they just couldn't clean up those last couple of players. It was literally a game decided by those 2 moments, and it was Dirty Maggots who won it on their moment.
There was a lot of little bits as well that you kind of think, oh, well, what if Juno didn't go down to the random little pipe from Zam? What if, like, Geordie maybe stayed alive in these certain moments and all this such and other? But yeah, I think it ultimately came down to was the quick push in from Dirty Maggots, capitalizing on the setup basically in that conversion of going from that roaring mid-fight win to all the way to last, and they just never allowed them to kind of castle up there over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. And yeah, it was just a really nice call, whoever made that game winning. And also as well, on the flip side, it wasn't just that one mistake. They also made sure not to do that mistake as well, Ben. There's a couple of opportunities where they were being pushed into this last and things were going pretty quickly. But Voxy coming back on the heavy weapons guy, coming back on these classes that are effective immediately out of the gate rather than like these engineers and these snipers.
Yeah, Voxy in particular, coming up with those heavies, it made all the difference. Like, I think imagine if
just if they had an engineer in No Man's Land building a dispenser for some reason.
It makes all the difference. And yeah, genuinely, it's a weird game to analyze because I'm not gonna. I'll put it fairly bluntly. Not a great deal happened for the majority of this game. Right, there was a lot of sitting around, a lot of trying sacks in. We saw the parachutes doing great work, just completely locking out any kind of demo peaks through these shutters. And yeah, it was just in these couple of moments of flux before teams could fully get themselves set up in these stalemates where we saw the action. So I'm not sure if we've had the logs on or not, but like the logs are nothing to speak of really. There's everyone's getting 100 and something DPM. It's a really, really slow grind, and that's what happens sometimes. You have to be able to play those games, and it's going to now be Dirty Maggots winning victorious in that one, and they are going to go on to their deciding map, Sunshine, which it can slow down. It can definitely grind to a halt, particularly around the last point, but I don't think it quite has the reputation that Granary has, particularly around second. I think we might be seeing a bit more of a dynamic game here.
Yeah, the doors are a bit more favourable than Sunshine. If we want to get really into the meat and potatoes of these two differences of Granary and Sunshine, Sunshine's last, a bit more forgiving for going out of the doors. We haven't got those shutter doors. The doors are actually kind of big, and you get a bit of free high ground when you push in to the enemy last. So you can't really kind of do these sort of sentry nests in the, well, I mean, some teams do, but I don't really see it much nowadays, where you have the sentries in the middle and everyone's just hanging out in the middle and reacting to it. So it's a lot less harder to kind of castle up, I think, on Sunshine, but it is possible. And obviously it's a bit quicker as well. The entire map is a bit shorter than Granary, so it'll feel a lot more action packed compare. But I think Granary was still a good game. It was just obviously a bit more like play heavy. Like, for example, that play that Voxy went behind, very crucial. Obviously took up like 4 minutes of the game. You feel the weight of these plays a lot more, and you feel the weight of the mistakes a lot more as well. So, and you feel it as a player as well. Dying on Granary hurts because you not only have to like come back to life, but you have to roll out on the largest map ever with like no health. It just sucks. So I think these teams are going to be quite happy they're playing Sunshine now, even the ones that picked Granary.
For sure. It's my turn to go first in the predictions. I think we might be seeing more of the same. I was impressed by the way, by what we saw from Dirty Maggots last game. I thought they played very pragmatically, and I think in this all-decisive game, I think they're going to take it. I think they're playing Witness again in the rematch in the final.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think dreams have been crushed, and we're going to not really have a Sunshine disposition over on Max sort of team, which I think it's going to be a Dirty Maggots one as well. But who am I to say? The fates will kind of unwind here on our third and final map. It's a hype one here in this lower bracket final to see who faces off with Witness. I'm Types. I'm joined with Ben PL, Stu on production as well. And let's see, what did Bloodsail Buccaneers have installed? Double Soldier Boyfriend Bomb, but they both go bombing out of this mid.
They couldn't get anything. That was a bit unfortunate. Sylvs lived. I don't know how Sylvs lived, to be quite honest. And they've actually found a kill onto Georgie. There's maybe a world where they can start pressuring forward with Af taking a good amount of damage, but there's no space at all on this mid. They didn't find any more kills. They're going to have to back up to second, concede the mid, and get themselves locked up. But after that failed double bomb at the start, honestly, they're kind of taking this situation. This could have ended up a lot worse. GG going to bomb in early before the setup is there. Good damage, but not finding any frags.
I like it. Maybe taking a couple of prior lessons from the previous game, realize that they don't like giving them time to set up here over on the Dirty Maggots, so they're going to just send people straight in. Speaking of sending in, Zams is pie high in the sky and won't find the kill onto Eon, but that's got to be a scary sight when the sun is bigger than Zams in the sky.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Zams launching in. Not able to find any real damage though onto Eon, and with Demo down, this has afforded quite a lot of space towards them, but Jordy and Gigi sink the rockets!
He entered the gauntlet, he's dodging, he's ducking, he's diving, but he's just getting hit with too many dodgeballs. He will go down over on Eon. You play the devil's game, and the devil sometimes will hit you. And my god, what are they to do on second now? What is the backup plan? What is plan B? Mac is just chilling. He's chilling way too long though. He's going to chill on the respawn. And now they've got a setup time to kind of go into last straight with it. They're leaving one scout to cap, and I think they're actually all going to buff up first and then make their way in. But if they wanted to, they could take the time a little bit. Mac is still dead, but they use immediately Sentry Gun cleaned up, and I'm already on that point ×2. A lot of cap time, a lot of sweaty cap time on this last point. The soldiers should be quite easy to clean up. The heavy will go down, and the cap time is the biter here for Dirty Maggots against Bloodsail Buccaneers. A small little mistake, a bit of old Mac shining through there.
It was a combination of two mistakes. First, the drop on mid, and second of all, Mac getting caught in that shutter. That's that demo death is round defining, because that last push, I've got to say, didn't look mega clean. There was a lot of weak players at the end, and the heavy was munching through a lot of damage. But the no stickies in the point early on meant they could get so much cap time through and get themselves an early lead and a step up here on at Sunshine as we roll out to mid number 2, where it's a lot slower the Bloodsail Buccaneers soldiers, they're just biding their time for now.
Well, Bloke is playing by the choke, but they've actually sent Geordie in behind to keep tabs on it. They don't want the ninja surprise coming out of this soldier, so he's going to have to go back, sip a couple of health packs, and we've rotated completely on these two teams, so whoever's losing, they're losing hard, and they will lose out on their medic Eon. And where's Piggles? Find Piggles, says Bloodsail Buccaneers. Well, they won't find him. He's actually hiding in the most aggressive spot of the map.
That was fantastic work from those two soldiers over on Dirty Maggots. GG in particular, bombing around, catching both
Juno?
Demo and Medic.
So they've got an Uber charge. Juno's going to come in from behind. They just want to kill
Sails, they want to force it. They want to force. They're going to try and get in with the scattergun. Juno's going to try and get some good damage.
100 HP.
They can't get it.
Yeah, and Bloke even tries to get in behind as well. But oh my god, his entire team is backing him up now. And yeah. What they were just going to set up for just the Uber charge and give them mid, but in the hopes of getting the Uber charge out of Piggles, they will give up the mid now.
The one kind of nice thing though, if you're a Bloodsail Buccaneers fan, is that mid was half capped in the red at the start of this, so mid is going to take an age to cap. You can see Voxy still stood on mid, still capping it. He's only just going to flip, and this means this is going to buy enough time for Eon to get this Uber charge up on last, so at least they're not facing another Uber distant on last. But this could have gone so much worse, and especially Piggles, really well played, dodging away from those scouts, getting onto the pack, but another soldier's bot back in. Geordie and Gigi getting through, trying to get past the sentry gun, but yeah, that's a losing battle for those two soldiers. Geordie doing well to live, but you may as well try.
Yes, we are more than situated and set up here over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. We've got the sentry gun, we've got the pyro to cover the sentry gun as well. He's got a little dispenser to make sure he has unlimited ammo for the rest of his days. And, Mac is actually going to rotate round to the left-hand side. I don't know. I think Mac just gets to do whatever he wants at this last point, not really holding aside either way.
Well, it's all eyes on this sniper, because GG used the sack opportunity to come up with the rifle. Peeking in from dungeon, not able to find any shots just yet.
Yeah, Geordie's kind of caught out. He's jumping around.
How is he still alive?
Yeah, when you're in, you can't really get out. He gets covered by Mac, and it's kind of interesting, really. A lot of teams have a lot of sway and just, kind of variance about where they put their demo mount on the last point. Some like to really bunch up the left-hand side. Some like to kind of play like a favorable, full fat demo, just doing trap play on the right. But they're kind of aiming for more like Mac, just kind of switching up whichever door he wants all the time. It's kind of interesting.
I noticed Geordie's come up on the buff banner. That's really a signal to me that things might be grinding to a halt here for the Dirty Maggots. As he tries to spam in, gets 20% on that buff, and you may as well, while you have a sniper, you're not going to be doing
Geordie's gone down.
Too much rushing around.
Mac even gets the sniper as well. How many picks is too many here, Ben?
I think 2 is absolutely fine. I think pushing out, especially when the demo's still up as well, and it's even Ubers. We see these so many times. The spawners, when you're attacking last, they're so quick. And you got to think it's 2 soldiers as well. They can both just fast roll out and land straight on the second point within a matter of seconds. I think, yeah, it takes a lot more than 2. But if you're 3 picks not get pushed out in the Granary game, I think we're going to be seeing more of that here in Sunshine.
Well, Sylves, or I like to call him Sylvers, is just checking a couple of classes, seeing if there's no shenanigans happening on the enemy team, and there isn't. This is as plain as day as you can get over on the Dirty Maggots, I should say. And, well, what is the play? Usually the soldiers, you actually see one set up already. I think GG wants to kind of go for the kind of fancy bomb, outspeed the sentry gun, but he's also got a pyro to deal with. Yeah, they get the gun, and the soldier's still hanging out in there, but keep in mind they do have this respawn they can get back to. Eon has got a nice, tidy kind of bunker to back away into if things get a little too dicey.
Yeah, it was a good effort, and they really couldn't get Eon as they tried to turn attention to Mac, but didn't manage to find anything as he managed to surf away onto that right-hand side. Even if he had gone down 2 soldiers for a demo, isn't enough to start thinking about walking into a last. So we're back here again. 3 minutes spent on this timer. 3 minutes the Dirty Maggots are happy to spend there, a round up, and they can start walking forward once more. No sniper this time. It's going to be all stock standard. See if Geordie can get some space, because he's the one getting tanked up, getting bombing in, actually getting it onto Bloke and does a lot of damage. They trade out 1 for 1, and that space is going to open up in the favour of the Dirty
Oh,
Madness.
that's a
Look
lot
at
of
this
pressure.
Pressure. All right.
Yes, and Souls will be pushed back into the last point. Will has to get a
big pipe.
quick respawn. It's tempting to kind of go on Mac here, as he feels like the most far forward player, but I think he does bide his time near the sentry gun long enough. But the sentry gun goes down during all this. I think it's more they're kind of doing something to akin to Gully Wash, where they're just doing the boiling pressure plate. Everybody's just kind of pressure cooking them and seeing if they can find anything everywhere. If there's 6 things happening at once, one of them's got to turn up, right?
Yeah, Zam's in as well, trying to get through. There's Geordie getting air shot down into the ground, bombing up from dungeon. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And yeah, Dirty Maggots, they don't mind too much because, like I said, they are a round up. But should they start equalising and ever come back to 1-1, and they're in a similar situation, they might be kind of kicking themselves because again, it's like Granary all over again. That they've not really looked too close yet to getting in. That 1-for-1 trade on the soldiers was as close as it got, but one pipe from Mac was enough to end any chances.
Poor Juno gets stuck on the pyro, dreams of going back to another mid-fight. Oh, he actually gets a bit of uber loving. Not every day you get this on the pyro, but with 16 seconds left, why not treat the lad? He's worked hard and well. I say to defend the sentry gun, it goes down. And he might actually go down as well. It's very likely Juno brought down minuscule health. The dispenser's the only thing keeping him alive. A lot of pressure coming in. They actually got time on the cap point, and it will be sent into overtime. Zams is the only soul left kicking. It was scary for a moment there, Ben.
It was. I think Uni did a really good job, but it's one of those things. Uni's locking out 2 people in the lobby, but the rest of the team are busy on the opposite side of the last point, winning their fights. So eventually they have to go and reset pressure back out, and in those like post-Uber situations, you are literally just flooding in for the DM. But when the defenders can, they have defenders advantage plus the availability of a really close spawn like on Sunshine, they can just be resupping for days. So there we go. Last survived, but these mid-fights from Bloodsail Buccaneers might need a little turn in the wind because the last 2 have not been pretty.
Yeah, they need to figure out their mids over on the... Oh, we're going to send it again. 2 soldiers, boyfriend bombing across the point way, but we're not going quite suicidal here over on Bloodsail Buccaneers. And Juno tries to spend the time to kind of get in, but they're just all
massive
way
damage.
Too bunched up. And the rest of Bloodsail Buccaneers, they just don't really have the heart to kind of stick their neck out there and kind of support anything.
Well, meanwhile, Bloke has managed to find a kill into Av. I thought there was a chance of maybe getting forward over towards Pickles as well, but not a chance at all. Pickles is all too aware, backs up, and are we off back where we just were? I think it looks like it.
Yeah, I admire the rest of... Oh, actually, we're going to come back out. Juno and Eon, they pop off the Uber. They got forced by one mere soldier who wasn't really connected to the combo either, and they're lucky to not lose Silvers on the overextend there. So they're going to get second point defended, but can you really call it a defense if you've given up your Uber charge?
This is a real gamble. They're gambling here that they can get a force or at least make this Uber charge out of Piggles bad, but if they're able to creep this forward and not use the Uber, they are dised on their own last, and that looks like what's happening. Look, they all had to scurry out to last. Eon, only 50% Uber. This is going to be ad for last. They are going to be able to use in before Eon gets it. That kill onto Geordie might make a difference though, because Silver's caught it. That's really going to slow it down a bit.
That is pretty annoying. You have the opportunity there, and Geordie just kind of fluffs it up a little bit. Even only level 1 sentry gun to deal with as well. They pop off the Uber. There's a level 1 sentry gun to deal with at some point. We're kind of struggling with it. There we go. It finally goes down that. We even get the dispenser as well. Sail is back up on the heavy weapons guy, and I don't really see them with a nice foothold of all the players in. Geordie comes in, but he's late to the party, and my God, so much time was spent that they actually had time to build that Uber charge from that huge gap, Ben.
They absolutely did, and yeah, there was... I've got to say that kill into Geordie is the game changer. Genuinely, if they had the soldier, he's thinking about it.
Don't do it, Mac.
Oh,
for the love of God, Mac, don't do it. Oh my God, he's dying with fate, thank goodness. Okay, so Juno actually pushed out and pushed from a different door.
Oh,
he gets the kill! He gets the kill onto Pickles!
Oh, he's
and they get the collapse onto Zams as well! And Ath, he's sure he's got a kill, but I mean, I don't think they're sitting happy, and Gigi tries to kind of pick up the pieces of this defense. Even Ath is going to go down as well. Jordy, it's your turn to drop your brain! And he goes in,
he
gets it, and he's the only genius between 5 idiots!
1v5! 1v5 gets in and salvages what was an otherwise horrendous situation over onto Eon. Oh my, that could have been that was perfect conditions for a coast to coast if Eon doesn't go down there. But he does, he gets caught out. Genuine 1v5, last player alive, clutching up and keeps his team in the round, and well more than in the round, because they have a slight advantage if anything here. They have given up mid, and they are, yeah, the advantage isn't big. They might be in a bit of trouble if they try and use it, but that is potentially round saving.
Oh, trade over on the cafe as we're still going to keep going here. We have got the respawner advantage over on Mac and Company. Junu might be in a dead man zone as he's caught in the cafe as well. The cafe is seeing a lot of deaths today as they send everybody from Dirty Maggots to go find that scout kill. But you're going to have the players back soon enough. Syl is going to come back now, and the temptation could be here to keep staying in the fight, but they're actually going to give up. They got pressured out. Maybe they're just thinking that, wow, those respawns are really long here.
Yeah, GG going to bomb forward, try and get that kill onto Eon, but Eon is all too aware of that one. He's going to bomb out away into lobby, get the pack, and I've got to say, like, Dirty Maggots getting the repush there is really, really important for them. It means now they're in another situation where they can let the clock run down if they really so desire.
Jordy,
and they can either send Jordy in either and get even more damage into Eon, but Eon is regenerating it nice and well. But like, yeah, they can send these single sacks in at leisure, because now that they hold the middle point.
My God, Eon is the most forward player on his team, and oh no, this looks very reminiscent.
This is so terrifying.
Oh, Syl will go down over on the flank, and Pickles, he's actually going for the gotcha Uber, goes under, pops off the Uber. It's a solo Uber, so a lot of love for Sale, a lot of love for Mac, and not enough love for Eon. He is going to get hatred thrown upon him, and GG will kind of get
big
nice air shot against Jordy, and well, what do you know? We're back in it, boys! All in on Mac. We're going in. We're back on the mid, and Pickles is scratching his head. How on earth am I dead?
Another effort from Ayrshire there. Bloke's really clearly feeling things. Goes for a worldie there onto half. Doesn't quite land. But wow, this game has exploded into life in this last couple of moments. And now, look at this advantage. There's a sniper in forward spawn to deal with. But like, other than that, there's kind of no defense on second at all. There is genuinely nothing but this sniper in forward spawn. And
I don't think they know. Actually, Mac knows, but I don't think they know it's a sniper, however. Maybe they're expecting some other sort of forward thing to come in. Heavy weapons guy, maybe just a soldier class, but yeah, GG will actually switch and rotate back to last. They've got a full Uber ad, not even a level 3 sentry gun setup. It's just hidden on a very kind of funny place near barrels, and we will use the Uber nice and early, already pressuring the soldiers. It actually gets a kill onto the sentry gun as well, but no real cap time to speak of. Finally they will get some, but Junu loses his life, and Af, he's come back on the heavy weapons guy, and he's got more than a foothold on this last.
Oh, Fox is chasing Eon as well. Eon's going to die at the very last moment of it. It's not going to work out. And we said before, Granary was a game of moments.
Sale, he wants to go for the last though. Yeah, he's challenging Af, and he gets the kill.
There's so many players back. There's so many players back. They know.
They did draw a couple of players, so, you know, a little bit of a stutter step over on the second point. You know, no putting any players in the respawn bin for now. So, Pickles has his Uber charge, and let's see if they are going to go a bit more American. Are they going to pop this Uber straight away, or are they going to get greedy with it and see if they can challenge them to holding it for the second point?
Well, we're going to see Jordy bombing through straight in on. He's going to win out that fight, but Voxy, actually the pocket scout, getting caught out in his Uber, and Yunu's gone behind too with Sills.
Oh my
they
God,
are going to have to drag a lot of players back. This is what so much time. Bomb comes in, Sills bombs
nice
in. Oh, Pickles!
Pickles is so low, but they can't quite finish him. But Pickles is out.
But it's enough.
No
heals.
Space.
Look at the space. There's 3 players.
They're coming back in.
Look out second.
They're coming back in. They've got a health pack, and now they're going to challenge Mac. But he's going to just take a bit of loving back. But Jordy is not intimidated or scared. They use the Uber charge. Pickles responds onto Af. It's a solo Af Uber. And Bloke wants to go in and deny the soldier that health back. Rotates back around to Cafe. A lot of 5D chess plays coming between all these players here, just kind of barreling down and doubling down on that play.
Oh, my single-digit health on Pickles saves him in that previous fight from the flank player. Now They're going to try and barrel in, and the
Still
distraction
comes in, and he dies, but Bloke goes in, and he dies, but more importantly, Piggles dies.
Wow, this is getting absolutely crazy. Minute by minute, this game is getting more and more intense. Gigi's behind as well.
Behind.
Gonna get seen. And now they're going to have to give up midpoint.
Cafe.
They might have to give up midpoint.
Oh my god, Geordie is hiding above. Surely they know in 2025 that there's this. Oh my goodness, get that soldier out of here as he will get cleaned up. And, well, we've got no heals on second. Does Zams have time to set up a trap? There we go, we've got heals now. Pickles has come back to the world of the living, but they're probably going to get the second point.
Why is Gigi on Spy?
I thought you were just calling a good game there. I was like, my god, dude, they still need to Uber in.
No, they're in. Okay, the Spy.
They're in.
Not
They've used the Uber. They've capped second. The stickies are a bit pale over on this last point. Sail is trying to cap the point. Forces Geordie out. He's probably going to be the first frag of this last point. And where is the heavy weapons guy? There's no heavy weapon. There we go. He's finally here. He's a bit late to the party, though. So now the party can maybe bite back. A lot of crossbows being thrown into the man. Plinking away. They will not get this last point here, Ben.
Oh dear, Eon once again the last one running out alive. But we said, as I said before, these eventually you have to be able to convert one of these Uber ad last pushes. It's the only way you're going to get around on the board. And now 2 for 2 have been flubbed.
Oh no! Oh my goodness, we had a little bit of like high ground there to jump onto.
But yeah, they got to find something in these last pushes because these post Ubers just have not been it. And now again, they're okay. It's slight disadvantage. They are getting in time because Eon's been building well.
Bloke distraction for Silvez to jump in, and he will get cleaned up. And they lose Juno as well. That wasn't part of the plan. Juno was supposed to stay alive during all of that, so with 2 out, so they will back out cleanly over on Bloodsail Buccaneers, and we have now hit the 9-minute mark over on the clock. So you got to be feeling the squeeze a little bit. Geordie biding space for his team, and Bloke just making sure that the flank is kept in check just that little bit. So Eon launched into the air, getting a bit of hatred, but is this really place to die? Oh, the amount of play times that corner has probably forced a teammate, and now they overextend with it. When you get desperate, when you get just like hopeful for these Ubers. Zams though, he could go down. He's isolated, but will eventually back off into the waiting arms of his team. And yeah, they're going to claim back the midpoint, but they can Uber in at any moment, any second, at any time, and they're going to just keep giving them more rope to hang themselves in. They're not even going to pop the Uber immediately while they're trying to cap off the point. They're just going to play greedy. Geordie going to force out a greedy team, and okay, we're just kind of holding on to the Uber. We're using the Uber now. Zams jumps in. He's trying to deny, but they go into the dungeon to keep them safe, and they will get 1 pick. But is that really worth it? I don't think so.
Do we think Bloodsail Buccaneers try to push out here with the ad? Do you think they're going to go for it?
Calm down.
No,
you're out of control.
All I'm saying is there's 8 minutes. There's 8 minutes left in this game. There's 5 minutes in this round reset. There's 5 minutes in the round reset. They're like they look at them in lobby. They're in lobby. They want to take it.
You can say your argument 4 times in a row. I'm still going to disagree.
Well,
oh my God, they're agreeing with you. They're using the Uber. They're pushing out right now. But there's a scout.
They're getting back.
A soldier, on last point, and the scout as well. It's 2-0. What have we learnt, boys and girls? Never listen to Ben and always listen to Turbo.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. In the game situation, that they were just they're just reluctant to let it sit out for 5 minutes with 8 minutes on the clock, and there we go. That's the price you pay for pushing out of last.
I will give you that is a play to win sort of attitude, but now they are paying a price. Their time has been cut in half basically now because of that round. And I think we might even have to get to crits territory and just start kicking this game into 5th gear.
Well, we'll see about that one, because now it's going to be mid-fight number 3. We've got big aggression coming in from Bloke. Gonna get good damage to Piggles, force him out of the fight for a moment, but it's all about these players that are in, like Zams, who's actually getting chipped down by Yunu. And the rest of these blue players are actually going to have to escape out through their own valley. So for the first time, we've really seen a convincing mid for the Bloodsail Buccaneers, but look what Voxy's doing. Voxy trying to sneak in behind, trying to take the fight, but Sail wins that one out. And now this is where they really have to make it worth.
This is a lot of deaths. I mean, fortunately, Zams I mean, can you call it fortunately? Well, he died over on mid pretty early, so he's back up for the last point ready. So they're going to have a demo man for this, but they're already making their way through the doors and they're not quite set up here. Oh, they could have really waited just for those two players to kind of chill just for a hot second on Silvez and Sale, and now there's a bit of a wasted opportunity. And you thought you hated the defense before? Look at the defense now. Pyro, Engineer, the stickies on the right-hand side. It's just... ugh.
Well, we saw in the first few moments of this game what Bloodsail Buccaneers could do when they were holding last, and the iron grip they held it with. But now, well, they're gonna have to beat what they set up, because they're the ones now trying to push in with even Uber's 6 minutes to find 2 rounds to keep their dreams alive in ETF2L season 50. And have a chance at that grand final spot against Witness. Soldiers bomb in, let Mac go down, landing onto Piggles.
It's a nice attempt.
Quite land.
This is interesting. They've thrown in 3 players, so obviously it's a duo sort of play. They want to send in, maybe they can get the kill onto Piggles, and as well, if that doesn't work, you're kind of offering bait, offering a bit of carrot to this last team. And do you want to push out? And they're like, no, I've got 2 rounds. Why do I want to push out? So they're going to just sit there over on last with their level 3 dispenser, their level 3 sentry gun, and their level 3 confidence into this last.
And they're going to use the Uber in and try and get what they can, but Piggles using way, way later, and they are going to actually catch the retreating Sail. And that is going to make it really hard for any kind of repush. Yeah, they're a player down, they're trying to barge in, the gun goes down, yes, but look at the spam on these doorways, they just can't find their way in. Mac's gone down too, Yunu's going to try and rat in, but gets piped down, really nice work. Excuse me, Mac getting piped down, Yunu does escape out, but yeah, that's what you're trying with these pushes on these Uber trades. Like, it comes down to, getting everyone out alive, and Sail falling, I think, kind of kills any chance of getting back in.
Wow. Bloodsail Buccaneers, usually the expert of dwindling down that 3-minute clock on Viaduct, but now that 3-minute clock is probably their worst enemy over on control point, and now they just have to sit here, and the agonizing reality kind of dawns on them second by second. They got 100% Uber charge, they're just going to try again once more for the boys, and well, we pop off Uber over on Piggles again. It's a solo soldier
this
Uber.
Time? No, but they're getting someone caught both times in these Ubers.
The flank has absolutely been demolished as well. They come in at the same time, trying to hope that they can kind of cause enough distraction and then just collapse in, but they just feed on the same sort of square inch of rocket and will go down.
I guess we can't quite call it yet, but I think we're almost in a position to call it, because there's 4 minutes left. 2 rounds to find it is technically possible. Yunu coming up on the sniper, just going to try and work a miracle, try and just get any kind of kill that can springboard them into this round. But
yeah,
it's so tough to get.
I like the junior sniper. It's proactive. You are trying to do something with it, and it will kind of pluck kills out of nowhere. And who knows, if a man can just turn on his hacks and just start clicking heads, then who knows? 3 minutes left. The math has to start happening around, I would say, in a minute's time. They've got Eon goes down. That's not good. That takes feels like a lot more than a minute to recover from.
Yeah, the thing with this sniper as well, right, is look at the Piggles was positioned on the spiral staircase behind point. There is no sniper sightline that sees that. There is literally zero way you're getting in. And speaking of getting in, I think it's actually going to be the 30 MAGGOTS going to bomb themselves forward.
2 soldiers on the flank.
Right, yeah. Look how many players back though as well.
Gigi actually stays alive during all this, finally goes down. But to say he stayed alive against 2 soldiers bombing him for as long as he did is impressive to say the least. And we do expend a bit of Uber charge obviously during that play, but times again just not on their side, and I think we're going to be feeding on some trash time in a second here, Ben.
I'd argue it might already be there, because the Uber charge is nowhere near coming up for either of these teams. Eon, getting caught out in Valley previously, is going to survive this little onslaught, getting an arrow kill over onto Geordie. And they are going to find that 1 kill into Voxy too, so they can actually walk forward on this. They can start capping, they can try and make this one work, but we are getting into the
Zams trap against Mac. Flowers. on the flowers, on the plant pot, near the, believe it or not, near like a trash bag, so you can just stuff Mac right in there, ready for the dreams and hopes of this Bloodsail Buccaneers squad. But they're going to go in just for the hell of it. Once more into the breach, dear friends. Raise the anchor, bring it on home. We're popping over, nothing's really coming of it. Junu dies on the flank again. Seems to be a theme, it seems, for this Sunshine map. And Mac is back, but Mac might not really attack, as he's going to go back. And he is dead.
Yeah, we are definitely deep into the garbage time right now. We've got GG's already been called in chat by the players. They know it's over. 1 minute 30 left to play down, and yeah, there's these rogue attempts at the end from Bloodsail Buccaneers. Yeah, they're not working, but at the end of the day, they are the sort of hopeful, sporadic, we need to get something done right now, this exact second kind of plays, and they're not really they're not really going to be a high percentage.
Well, my heart bleeds, and if I betted any channel points, my channel points would have bleeded all over in this game here, Ben. Bloodsail Buccaneers will not make their Cinderella story happen, but do you think this team is really that bummed out? They are kind of still already, exceed expectations here in this playoffs. Are they losing this with a happy smile on their face?
I don't think anyone's really losing with a happy smile, but I think they can come out of this knowing that, like, on another day they win this. It is going to be 3-0, which, to be honest, is completely against the run of play. Like, these last 2 rounds were because Bloodsail Buccaneers were pushing and pushing and pushing as hard as they could. But no, I think, honestly, on a different day, a couple of moments, we saw one on Granary, there was the push at the end where Piggles was 75%. Even on this map, they beefed 2 full ad last pushes in, like, sort of the middle portion of this game. Like, on another day, this is their game. But it was just the consistency and the lack of mistakes, and there's the clinical conversions that we saw from Dirty Maggots, like, particularly on Sunshine. They were so clean with that first round in particular that I don't know. It's a tough one to stomach, I think.
Yeah, it's a cruel world. Imagine if this was more the King of the Hill favoured game rather than a control point. Maybe we might have been laughing a bit differently for the Bloodsail Buccaneers if they could, like, I don't know, bring out some kind of weird second map like Clear Cut or Villa or whatever other King of the Hill maps there are, and he's just rocking that Juno sniper and that kind of solid play that we saw from that first map. It felt like an age ago, if I'm honest, but there's something clearly shining about this Bloodsail Buccaneers team, but they just haven't really got the best of 3 in them, it seems.
Yeah, not to be, and well, on the opposite side, Dirty Maggots, they fought back, they turned things around, but on the negative for them, they are now up against Witness, which is that game they played the other day against Witness in the upper bracket final. It wasn't too pretty, but maybe maybe they've rolled themselves back through. Maybe they've they've reinvigorated. They're gonna have GG in their roster now for a bit longer. They've had a couple of games to play. They've had more scrims together, but it's always gonna be an uphill battle for them, I think, coming into that grand final.
Yeah, I mean, there's some logs. They're there. Just a couple of heartbreaker things. It felt like the mistakes were just much more damning for Bloodsail Buccaneers at the start. Just these kind of huge sorts of trip-ups between Eon, between Mac and such. And then when you lose that first little grip, the game is so much harder from that point. And now all the other mistakes, they may not feel as big, but they're just so much more unforgivable in the sense that you need to just start swapping out not even mistakes, but just for wins as well, clutchness to kind of draw things back. But you gotta give credit to Dirty Maggots. It seems like they know how to hold on to an advantage and really grind down to the nub, and almost like the Kado playbook of just hopelessness once that enemy
Their
team
defenses were so strong.
Yeah, you're just like, what are you to do? And they don't. I think this is also a tale of just speed as well. The speed kind of going against Bloodsail Buccaneers and setting up on these last points, and yeah, the speed catching them out and during their little connecting sessions as well for Mac and company. It hurts, but this is still, I'm going to say, I've obviously been trying to end this on a silver lining. They have exceeded expectations over Bloodsail Buccaneers, and this isn't the end all be all. It's just online at the end of the day, and a lot of people are looking towards that LAN over in Germany. And my God, I'm sure everyone's going to be hyped about this new Bloodsail Buccaneers squad.
Yeah, they have got better and better as the season's gone on. But we say it is just online. There is one special thing about this season, and that's that because of an involvement from Banco's store, there is actually a big prize pool. Well, I say big. It's around €500 for
Yeah,
whoever comes out on top in the grand final.
Let me stop you right there, Kuno, because it's also just for whoever wins first place
that is
as
true,
well.
Yes, it is just first place.
Yeah, it's just first place. No split off. No kind of chump change for you losers down at the bottom of the leagues. So it's really kind of, you could say it's Witness picking up a paycheck. But then again, there've been wilder things. Witness do lose. They do bleed. And there've been wilder things happening here at ETF2L across its 50 seasons. So tune in. We're going to have the grand final at some point, obviously, after this date, when we get all the plans figured out with who can play on what between these two players. I've been Toro Tabs. With me has been Ben PL on the CoCast, and Stu has been providing all the lovely production. We'll see you next time here on the stream for the grand final. See you then.